Hello everyone, how's it going? Hope you're all right. Welcome back to another one of our videos on marketing, and in this one we will be focusing on a particular type of target market that a business can choose to serve. Now the idea behind this concept is coming from the word that we've said a few times, that we've talked about, the need for business to do that, and the word is of course diversification. And diversification, as we know, means that you need to have a variety of things so that it reduces the risk of failure. And when I'm referring to variety here, of course, we're talking about marketing. We're talking about the different types of target markets that they could have. And the more variety they have in that, the more variety the business would have, the more chances they will have of success. And so far, all of the marketing that we've discussed has been about B2C, which is business to consumer, when the business is direct with the final user of the product. That's what we call B2C marketing. But there's the other side as well, that a business could choose to operate in another market, which is what we call B2B, business to biz. So business to biz, B2B marketing. Now, you may also see this by the term of business consumers, and you may also see industrial markets, and they all mean the same thing, that one business is selling to another business. And of course, you remember that one business sells to another business, the product that's being sold becomes a capital good or a capital service, because the idea is for the buying business to use it in their own production process and of course make a product out of it to sell to their consumers. So it's slightly different in the way that a business would operate in a B2B than a B2C. Of course, B2B is all about getting to other businesses, which means that what other businesses need is raw materials. They would need support services in terms of IT. They would need office supplies. So all of these things have to be provided by someone. And of course, that someone is another business that's happy to do so. Let's take a simple example to understand what we mean here. And let's say we are a timber company, and of course our job is to take wood, cut it up into pieces, and readily usable pieces, right? Straight planks, so that furniture makers, for example, use it. Now, we know for any business, even a timber company, the need for variety, it will always be there, right? They would have different types of wood, different color, different finishing, different strengths. So all of these things mean that you have something to make money from. There is some level of value addition when you apply a coat of primer, when you cut it up in a certain way. That's going to make it more attractive for other businesses to buy this product, for those who need wood. And which businesses would need wood? That's right, it would be our furniture makers. So if you're a furniture maker, you are the other side of that B. Remember, the B2B. So that's one side of the B. The other B was, of course, the timber company. And all you're doing is going from one business to another, selling the product that they need, which in this case, of course, was their raw material. Could also be internet service. Any internet service, will always be serving the homes, the residents, of course, and also all businesses need internet, so they'll be doing it in both B2B and B2C. But you have to understand, and the basic idea is that the buyer in this case is a business, and they're not using it for their own consumption. They're buying it so that they can use it in their own production process and then make a product that can be bought by the consumer. So if it's not being bought by the final consumer, then the way to approach them is going to be very different. The number of businesses that are there to buy a product as compared to the number of customers would always be lower, right? More customers, of course, simple number game, fewer businesses. So you're dealing with a smaller market technically, but that's not to say that it's smaller in terms of revenue, because there may be fewer businesses, but they have the ability to buy in large amounts. So let's look at a little more detail of what B2B marketing really is. Now, let's start by looking at the main features of operating in a B2B market. And you will, of course, see there on the left side of our screen. And the first thing to understand is, as we just discussed a few seconds earlier, that you'll be dealing with a smaller pool of customers rather than the larger ones as you would in a B2C. And now we are still calling these guys customers, because another business is buying the product, they're paying for it, so they're still customers. But this time around, they're not simply customers. We also know them as business customers. So just a little distinction to help us keep it clear in our minds. So smaller businesses, a smaller pool of customers, fewer businesses, but the idea is to make sure that you keep a healthy relationship with these, because these aren't going to buy in smaller quantities. If a furniture maker is going to buy wood from a timber company, they're going to buy them in large quantities because they have to serve a mass market product in tables and chairs. So if you have good relationship with these other businesses, then whenever they buy, they're going to buy in large quantities, and that's where you can get rid of a lot of your inventory in one go, reduce your cost over there, and then start bringing in more as and when needed. So less people to still do, yes, but in larger quantities, so large amounts can be earned in one or two sales. On top of that, the return on investment part is really important, right? You are putting in all your machinery, your labor, your land into making all of this, and you're not relying on too many customers. So there's a heavy price that's already been paid, so you have to make sure that you find enough buyers in the business customer market to make up for the investment that you've done. On top of that, what businesses do, the buying businesses, of course, the second bit I'm talking about, is that they make rational decisions about what to buy, what not to buy. Right? Of course, the business buying furniture, for example, wood that is being bought by the furniture maker, they would know exactly the kind of wood they want. They would want to keep their own wastage at a minimum. So they're never going to buy extra. They're going to buy the exact amount that their own manufacturing team has told them. So you compare that to the consumer market. Now, consumers tend to be impulsive. They spend on wants. They would buy things that they would use only once. So that's where that irrationality means that you can make more money by fulfilling people's wants. But another business buying it in B2B, that means that they will only buy what they need. So you can't oversell, but you have to make sure that the quality is top notch, because you don't want to be losing a business that can buy a lot of your product in one go. And one thing that the buying business expect is innovation. Right? On our a little bit earlier, we saw that a timber company needs to continue to provide variety of wood, so that the buying business, the furniture maker, can also make variety of products to sell to customers. So the buying business is looking for inspiration, looking for help from the selling business, and that's where innovation becomes key, so that you keep those repeat customers coming back to you. Now, I hope that you can now clarify and clearly, distinctly tell the difference between what B2B market is and what B2C. And as you can see, there are great differences. So if there's a completely different way of operating in one, then of course the methods of reaching out to these buying businesses, the marketing methods are going to be slightly different as well. And something that businesses use to get to other businesses, which is convenient, is email marketing. Right? What email marketing does is that it can make your message very, very direct. You can have colors, you can have pictures, you can add discount coupons, you can keep updating information. So there's so much you can do with email marketing. You can send demo videos for other businesses to see what your product can do for them. So email becomes a very convenient method. And one thing that's probably the most common method is businesses showing up at different events, right? This would be your seminars, this would be your exhibitions, this would be your trade fairs. For example, a construction trade fair would have all the construction companies, so they would have all the innovative new products, all the bulldozers and all the excavation machines being represented there. And they're there so that the other businesses who want that construction material can come and buy it. So there you get to be direct, one-on-one, you get to demo your product, you get to make connections. So it's a very good way to build up that good relationship that we spoke about a little bit earlier through event marketing. And then, of course, the businesses that you've served well should also do you a little bit of favor by doing some word of mouth marketing, and they might bring in some more leads. So one furniture maker talks to another furniture maker and says, look, we've got a good seller of wood, why don't you also try them? So that's one way to also increase your marketing methods. And lastly, something that we know as now through the line promotion methods, something that all companies use for both B2B and B2C is your social media marketing, especially platforms like LinkedIn, where there's already an expectation for businesses to be there. That's where you can demo your product. That's where you can keep updating information so that other businesses are fully aware of. And of course, when two businesses are dealing with, the selling business needs to establish their rapport. They need to establish that they're there in the market. They won't go away, because if they're going to be suppliers to other businesses, then the buying business needs to have the confidence that their suppliers aren't going to run away. So any company information that you update on your websites as well would also mean some positive marketing will come out of that. So very different from B2C, different features, and as you can see, different methods. And the idea for B2B is to get as direct with the buying business as possible, because at the end of the day, whatever the company wants to buy, the decision will be made by one person, the inventory manager or the procurement officer. So unless you are there one-on-one, unless you're able to display the product, show them the benefit, and keep getting after them to come buy a product, it's going to be difficult to make that sell. Right? With customers, you can put up ads and you can hope that word of mouth, and when they see it, they might come for. But B2C, for B2B, you'll have to make conscious effort of convincing your buying business. Now, I just want to end by showing you a couple of examples that would further clarify what B2B really is. So just to finish off, a couple of companies that we might have heard of. Careem, for example, a ride-share app that's become global, of course. And they, of course, you and I as users can download their apps. They can call the ride anytime we want, go any place we like. So we're doing that as consumers. But Careem also has an offer for other businesses. Of course, businesses also have people coming from across the city to their place of work. They need to be brought there. They need to be brought to homes again. So the Careem business has decided to make a special side, so special type of marketing is being done for those businesses, where instead of doing daily single rides, you can have a monthly system where you pay monthly. You can set the limit that can be paid on per ride. You can be direct with the management and get updates about who's late, who's not. They can offer a few credit facilities. So different product is being offered because the market is different, because it's a business now, not a consumer. And similarly, Dropbox also does how they offer storage space for consumers. They also offer it for other enterprises. So for organization, the product that they call is enterprise, contact sales for pricing. Again, they want to get direct with you. That's the way to do B2B business. And they will offer those facilities that they're not offering to B2C customers. So that's what B2B promotion is. If you are choosing to operate in B2B, then this is the way that you maximize your sales.